Okay, Assalamualaikum, very good evening, and warm welcome to all the Iclad 2021 delegates. Hope you are all doing good and well. All right, for the next 1 hour session, sorry, we will have a great topic and sharing being a coach and winning player in your organization by Mr. Mark Jonathan. But before that, please ensure that the following etiquette must be followed all the time. Please keep your device muted through the session. Please place your question in our chat box. We will entertain those questions.
I help out host there. Yes. So please place your questions. If there's any questions, you can place it on the chat box, and then we will entertain those questions after my sharing, right? And secondly, if you have shared, please mute your devices. Right? We really encourage those questions to come in into the chat box, and we will definitely see through that questions as it comes later after my sharing, right? And last but not least, we encourage you to stay with us in the next 30 minutes and also be with us during the question and answer section. So without further ado, let's start our section. So being a coach and winning player in your organization. All right. So everyone, I'm sure there's a reason why you picked this topic out of all those mini classes. Thank you for making a good choice, a wise one. I really intend to give a value for you all, for the effort that we have done, and for the courage to join this particular mini class. Right? So once again, I warmly welcome each and all of you delegates. Thank you for being a part of us in this journey of 2021. So we assure that you will achieve particular value from this section, right? So let's move on. Okay, let's move on. But before that, let me give you a situation, right? Who will be the relevant ones who can find value from this section, right? So I'm sure most of you are working in an organization, right? In an organization filled with a lot of people, a lot of expectation, a lot of goals, a lot of key performance that you need to achieve, right? Some of you have been working in this organization for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or even more to up to 30 years. But everyone are racing for a particular goal. I'm sure about that. So everyone is trying to do something at your workplace, right? So I think this could be a section that will help you to understand a little bit better how to move on in your organization, how to be an outstanding worker or a staff or person in your organization. So I think this section will help you out. So if you want to answer that particular question, right, that I've just raised, I think you are in the right place, right? So without further ado, let me introduce myself. Right? I'm Mark Jonathan Samuel from ILSAS, Tenaga Nasional. So a little bit of experience, my past experience, I've worked with this 4 particular company before joining TNB. particularly Schlumberger. I've been there with them. British American Tobacco, a second company. And third one, Asia, all right, and OSK Group, right? So yeah, these are the four companies that have been attached with a lot of culture, organization culture I went through with them, a lot of leadership that I've seen through these companies. Now I ended up myself working with the Naga National Berhad. And yeah, my career journey was pretty much interesting along the way. And I can share along what are the differences that I see in these companies. I'm sure you guys also are eager to see what happens in Asia, BAT, Schlumberger, and OSK. Of course, their culture, the working culture is definitely different from all of them. And I will never underestimate any one of them. Definitely no, because all of them, they have their own values, their own way of achieving their goals and their targets, and they are kind of leading their own sectors, right? So second one, my inspiration. I don't talk about my hobbies and all these things. So what inspired me is if you give me a lemon, I'll make lemonade out of it. Right? That is why I embark on this coaching thing, right? And becoming a coach, right? People come to me with a lot of problems, a lot of situation at their organization, their life, right? So they throw in lemons now, basically, right? They give me a situation that, oh, Mark, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm stuck, I'm worried, in a lot of situations that they come. But what I'm able to do is come up with solution, not if it's not a long-term solution, a short-term will do, right? And second part what inspired me is opportunities. I'm kind of like an opportunities guy, all right? Look forward into a small opportunity in whatever I do. So I didn't want to put 1%. I just purposely put it at 2% because if I miss that 1%, I have another percent to prove it, right? So, but anyhow, opportunity makes a difference in my life. So I seek a lot of opportunity. If things comes to me, I make it happen. And that is basically myself. So I don't drive a lot about myself. Let's move on because the content is something interesting. I'm very sure about that. Let's move on. Let's move on, guys. There's a lot of people are coming here. Jason, are you with us? Oh, Jason, Mr. Jason is my co-host. All right. I think there was a technical error. Basically, are you there, Jason? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mark.
All right, fantastic. I hope you're doing well there. All right. Welcome back, Jason. Let's move on. This is what I intend to achieve. All right. At the end of today's section, we want to set a winning mindset in you. Yeah, the challenge that I'm taking because the next 30 minutes, because I do not want to waste your time now, just coming into these mini classes and you don't get any of it. But this is what I intend to achieve at the end of this section. So we want to have a particular group of people who are winners, right? In whatever you do, right? We do not want you to just hit it, or try it, but we want you to win it, all right? Because winning is a fantastic feeling. So let me show you how is it like to become a winner, right? So because winning, everyone loves winning. So me too. I went through a lot of things, experience in my life, right? Getting into organization is a winning thing for me. Winning a race, all right? It's a fantastic feeling, all right? So I'm sure everyone who is hearing here love winning, right? When it comes to win, yeah, whether it's a team or individual, winning gives you the positive feeling. Winning gives you that energy to do more in whatever you're doing, right? So let's move on. Let me show you what exactly it feels to be a winner. Right? I'm sure you have went through all this in your life. Of course, the SpaceX is a little bit different, but let me go through. Let me make you feel what is exactly to become a winner, because it is important for you to feel before you go to take down the tips that I'm going to share with you, right? So let's feel it a moment. Video game better, starting when we are in our young time, right? When we are in our childhood, we used to have the video game. I remember before internet, right? So we used to play a lot of video games among our siblings, among our friends, right? So all these are something that excites us to finish up our time, that particular time. But the battle is real. So end of the day, it's about who wins, right? So even though you're playing a video game, it excites you when you become a champion in whatever you're doing, right? Whether it's a racing game, whether it's a fighting game, all right? It excites you, right? That's how it feels. I'm sure every one of you have played a video game before, right? Or even seen, all right? If you see the winner of a particular game, you can see how the joyful, how the happiness that appears in their mind, in their face, right? And second one, this guy, I think this guy, most of you would know, is Lionel Messi, right? Ballon d'Or is one of the trophy that these footballers they tend to win every year, right? To become the best, right? Not the second, not the third, not the fourth, but to become the best. You see the smile when you receive those kind of trophy. It's a sense of satisfaction, dear delegates, right? Dear friends, delegates. There is a sense of satisfaction when you receive those trophy. It gives you that motivation to achieve more, to move forward. You don't want to fall back, but you just want to do more and more and more, right? And this guy, this guy is filling up our world lately. Is Elon Musk. Okay, he's trying a lot of things in his life, right? Coming to the electric cars, and as well as his another baby of his, SpaceX, and launching all those rockets to Mars and all. So he trying his level best. But there was one incident that he successfully launched the rocket, right, to Mars, and he believed one day he will bring human to Mars, right? I'm sure he will achieve that because he's kind of a positive guy. He's telling good, not only just findings but facts, all right, from what he's doing. But at the end of the day, you see the joy that he has, right? He carries up his hand and he feels that satisfaction. He always talks about his team. Right? If you realize, he always talks about his team, the people who are helping him, and he's closely attached to something that he's working on. I'll show you in a while what is the common thing among all these four people. Right? The last but not least is a full marathon. Those who love full marathon, those who involved in this game, they know how it is like to win a marathon or even to finish a full marathon. Because I tell you what, not all of us here who can finish a full marathon, a 42-kilometer marathon, only a few were able to do. But finishing the marathon itself is a fantastic feeling, right? You don't need to become the number one, number two, number three, but finishing, completing that marathon, right? In whatever abilities you have, you finish it, that gives you a winning feel, right? So that is what exactly is going on in all the pictures I'm trying to show you here. But what are the common things? What is the one common things that they all have? What do you think? You can throw in the chat box. You can yeah, you can catch. What is the common thing in between all these four pictures? What do you think, guys? Anyone want to give a try? What is that one common thing that these four pictures has, or these four individual has in common? Anyone want to try? Hasn't, are we receiving any response from them?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone want to try? We are not going to penalize you, friends. You can either unmute yourself and share, or else you can put to be the best. Azmi Avi, thank you for trying to be the best. Yes, they want to be the best. All right, they want to win the game. They want to be the winner, right? Yeah, thank you, Azmi. Anyone? Can we have one more answer from the delegates and the audience? One more answer. Just give a try. Anyone? No. All right. All right. Okay. I think the momentum just trying to catch up. It's okay. Let me give a little bit of this part. Right? What I was expecting. What is the common thing in between four of them? Sorry, I just had a small technical error. Couldn't move the cursor right. What is the common thing, friends? Is the goals. All right. So I'm going to put that in the chat box. It's actually their goals. Right. So remember this word. This is very important for this section. everyone here, you have to own a goal, because that goal will actually motivate you to move forward. If you do not have a particular goal, then winning will not be a meaningful event for you, right? Meaning a game or a situation in whatever you're doing, it won't be a meaningful for you. So that is why it is important, friends, fellow friends, that you should set your goals, what you want to achieve, what you intend to achieve at the end of the day. Because if you're running a race, or you are going on in a particular situation in an organization, maybe, like I said to you, most of us are from an organization. If you are living or you are working 24/7 without a goal, I tell you what, you will be drained out at the end of the day. You will be definitely drained out. You will be definitely saying things like, wow, this is demotivating. So you try to find another environment, another situation. That is why goal is very important, friends. The goal is very important. So let me share. This is a very important part. This is the content of today's section. These three tips will help you to move forward or win the goals in your organization, particularly in your organization. And also, if you want to apply this in your personal life, you can do so, right? So if you want to own a house, if you want to own a car, you can apply these three tips that I'm going to show with you, because this is the value that I want to share with you in today's section, right? So let's, without further ado, let's move on. The first one, right? When you are setting up goals, or do you want to be a winner in a particular situation, in a particular organization, right? Take small step on a consistent basis. This is a very important thing. This is what I learned around all around my experience in my career life, and also uh, doing this coaching, all right, in my community. Uh, this is what I will encourage them to do. When you want to do a change, right? When you want to achieve something huge in your life that you haven't achieved before, I think the first thing at first is take small step on a consistent basis, because these small steps will give you encouragement. This small step will give you the confidence to move forward, right? So many of you many of you are being carried away, big goals, right? Big achievement. I need to get my first 1 million, all right, for my organization, for whatever product you are selling, or you are whatever services that you are providing for your clients. You are carried away with huge goals, right? Hey, somebody can come to me and say, Mark, go out there and get me a million client, right? So that is huge for me, right? So definitely, yes. But what you have to do, the first thing at first, is to take the small steps, right? Because these small steps will help you to do the next thing, right? The next thing. So what's one thing today that you can do that you can replicate for the next move? What you can replicate? This is very important, because remember, you should be able to identify this one thing. Take the small thing, don't take the huge thing. Take the small thing and try to replicate it each day. All right. Contohnya, for example, that you want to wake up early by 30 minutes. All right. We're not expecting you to wake up 1 hour or 2 hours early from your normal time, but try this. Like, you want to wake up 30 minutes from your normal time. Right? So you want to go into your yoga section, you want to go into your meditating section, or you want to listen to music in the morning, or you want to do a little bit more prayer in the morning, and you want to wake up 30 minutes, right? So when you target to 30 minutes, don't fall straight away to 30 minutes change. Contohnya, for example, let's say you want to wake up at 5:30. Your normal time of waking up is 6 a.m. So you want to wake up at 5:30. You see a lot of leaders, a lot of successful people, they wake up early. They wake up early from the rest, right? So if you want to do such change, dear delegates, what you have to do is start to wake up early 5 minutes before target time. Just 5 minutes. Try to do that. All right. Don't jump into 30 minutes, because 30 minutes could be unbearable for some of us. All right. Especially in the morning. It could be a very unbearable steps to do, but try to do it smaller. Take the 5 minutes and try. Okay, let's say you wake up at 6. Try to wake up at 5:55. When I say wake up, you are off from the bed. It's not that you're snoozing your alarm, still negotiating with the alarm thing and all. No. You be off from your bed. So you should be either in your dining table or your balcony or your living room. You should be moving out of your bed. That is what I meant by off from your bed. So 5 minutes, try 5 minutes, and then the next day 10 minutes, and then next day challenge yourself 15 minutes, and when you achieve the 30 minutes goal, and that is how you develop. That's what I'm trying to say here. You have to do it consistently. Don't wake up Monday 5 minutes early, and then Tuesday 5 minutes late, and then you pay back again on Wednesday 10 minutes. No, it doesn't work like that. 5 minutes constantly in the next 5 days, or even 1 week, or even 1 month. If you do this thing, you replicate this, you constantly want to change this thing, I'm sure that you can make a change. Because this kind of change that I just gave you an example, waking up early, is what winning mindset is all about. This is how, if you hear about George Bezos, even Elon Musk, Tony Fernandez, if you talk to them, these kind of leaders, what makes them to be different is waking up early, guys. This is what I hear from them, from their forum, their talk, right? Even I worked with Tony before. He used to penalize those who come not on time, right? He underestimates. He see that you're not respecting me, Mark. If you come in 5 minutes late for my meeting, right? This is how he will react to me. So that actually motivates me to come on time or even earlier for the particular section. This is how leaders practice, right? So that's why, friends, the first number one pointer or the number one hack or number one tips that I want to share with you is take the small steps right now, today, right? And then when you do these changes, right? Do not compare yourself for the other one. Let's say you're doing this together with your friends, right? Or together in a team, you're comparing to someone else. Do not compare them. Yeah, you can actually take them as a role model or someone that have done that before, but don't compare them, because comparing will actually demotivate you somehow, right? A lot of people that I've engaged with, all right, when they start to compare, they feel they are very small, very tiny. I feel like change doesn't make any change, right? So they feel very small. So I do not want you to feel that, friends, right? I do not want you to feel that. I want you to feel that you are making change for yourself, because the change or this winning mindset that I was talking to you about should happen in you first before you're doing it for your team or your community team, right? So stop comparing to yourself. You can only compare you to yourself. Take down. This is a very important thing that I've learned along the way, and I do apply this. I do apply it, and it gives me winning things, winning outcomes, right? So you can do this. Second point, right? Second point. The second one. Life is all about learning. Okay, be a lifelong learner and create a ritual out of learning. All right, and this actually motivates me to find myself in a learning organization. Right? TNB, Tenaga Nasional, is a huge organization. Okay, they give us a lot of opportunity to be anywhere. All right, it's just that you need to find your position. You need to tune yourself to be somewhere that can benefit the others. So I found myself in a learning organization with ILSAS, and one of the thing is this tips number two. I want to have this learning, lifelong learning, and create this ritual or learning. How do I do that? Is to become a trainer myself. Every time I go out there and train people, coach people, all right, someone who's going through that. Okay, all right. I think the newcomer, I believe that. Okay, it's okay. When you are learning things, right, you are basically opening your brains, your mindset, right? I try to Google this word neuroplasticity. I'm sure you have. I do not want to give the definition down here, but our brain is created in such a way that they can observe things very quickly, right? If you drive, okay, if you drive, I have this thing in me. Okay, when I drive in the road, right, then I see a car pass by. My first thing that I focus on is the car number plates. That interests me a lot. So I remember that single digit numbers, right? Wow, I say, wow, that's a single digit number. Then I see the car, then I see the people who are driving it. All right. So this is what our brain works. Even though, yes, I'm driving to a destination, I'm going back home, or I'm going to my workplace, that is my goal. But my brain is working. Brain is working. So it captures spontaneously, and that's what we call it as neuroplasticity. It's a very unique thing. It's a very unique organ that we own. That is why we need to take care of our brain, friends. Right? The second pointer I want to give you is to take care of our brains. Whatever you put in your mind, in your brains, is whatever you become. The more and more you feed on something for your brain, is what the output will be. If you put in a lot of positivity in your brain, and definitely your outcome will be positive. But let's say you put in a lot of negativity, you say, cannot, I can't do this. This is too hard for me. I don't have time, I can't do this. This is not my job scope. This is not my job role. All right. If you tend to do this, friends, you are putting a lot of negativity. Of course, the output will become negative as well. Right? So people who are expecting things from you, the person will be, it's not going to work out. All right. They do not want to try with you. They just listen to your name or hear your name, they will be disengaged. I know the outcome of this particular individual. Let's don't waste our time. Right. So that is uh, feed in your brain with positive things. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. You never stop learning, because every time you learn new things, you will tend to apply it. Right? That's how it works. Right? You don't keep it yourself. But if you keep it yourself, it's not going to anywhere. If you know whether your learning is successful, is when you practice it, when you apply it. Right? So whenever you learn some things, right? So for example, I'm challenging myself into sales, right? I'm so bad in sales, actually. I can't convince people, all right? I can't convince people to do product, especially the new product that I embark on, right? So that's one thing I'm working on. How do I manage sales? How do I manage these potential customers out there? So I challenge them. So, but then what I'm doing now is learn from other people who do it properly, very well, right? So never stop learning. Every day, whatever you're doing, try to get the additional knowledge in, because this additional knowledge will help you to move forward. All right. Thank you for that. If we continue to learn, we improve our ability to think. This is what people will say. I like this word, friends, is to think out of the box. All right. Many of you have heard about it, right? Think out of the box, especially the people who are working in organization. Um, they are there are people who are very comfortable in their own zone, right? There are people who are working, they're very comfort in their, the term is comfort zone, right? They love to be in that comfort zone, and they do that in gradual basis. But if you pick them out and put in another box, right? And that's where they will get very disengaged, right? They get disconnected. You see, Mark, I never did this before. I don't think so. I'm able to do this. All right. But this is what you will intend you fail to see, because you didn't give a try, right? So you fall back, and then the ability to think will be shortened. You don't think about it, because the moment you say no for a particular matter that comes along, right, that's where you are stopping the new learning, right? So lately I'm being involved in a lot of activities in ILSAS, all right? Things that I don't use to do at norm, do it, all right? So I just go on saying, yes, we can do this, and then later on think about how to do this. But what I learned along the way, friends, is where the ability to think. The moment I put myself in that position, in that situation, I start to think. Okay, I start to think like how it should be think, how it should be done. Because if you don't put yourself into that situation, trust me, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So that is why it's always to put yourself in a situation that you can learn new things. Try along the way. If you are an accountant, if you are an engineer by profession, right, that is the norm thing that you used to do. You do a lot of bookkeepings as an accountant, and you do a lot of operation work. And you make sure the supply is there, right? As an engineer, you make sure that people are enjoying the electricity, all right? This for the TNB engineers, right? So this is the norm, but go out of that box at times to challenge yourself, learning new things, because these things will actually expose yourself into thinking. Because if you continue doing things that, oh, okay, the normal things is not going to help you to think, right? So good, huh? If there's any question, you can just quickly put it in the chat box. I'm sure Jaizan is collecting. If there's, cannot see the chat box at the moment. Later, we will visit the chat box. But if you have any concern on this particular thing, we will visit it back later part, right? So let's go to point number 3, the last one. This is my favorite. Please take note of that. This one works very well for me. All right. And this is how I do things. Even in this particular position that I'm working on right now, seriously, I do not have any experience. So when I went for my interview, I told, I made it up. I'm not sure whether my boss is hearing this or not. I just made it up. I just made it up that, yes, I do this. Right. Why? Because I start before you are there. Because when you are ready, I start before. So to be in this position, I have actually started to practice to be in this position even before getting into this position. So getting in this position is of course a bonus for me. So what I did, becoming a coach in USAS, I start even before become a coach. So I start to do that. And then this is how you overcome challenge along the way. So one of my challenges that I encountered was during the interviews. All right. So the things, the questions that they asked me was very relevant in what I was doing. Right? Was what I was practicing, because this was totally a new journey for me. Right. So that is why I always encourage my fellow friends and people who comes to me. Right. I tell them, say yes. Right. Because when you say yes, you are giving opportunity to make a change. All right, not only for the people outside there, but for you. Right, you're giving an opportunity to unlock your potential. Okay, you're giving a situation where you can perform from the norm. If you're an accountant, if you're an engineer, that's your norm. That's what you do normally, right? You come to work, that's what you do normally. But when you are challenging yourself from out of your pathway, is where you are saying yes at first. So, because what I'm saying this, friends, is you will never be ready for a particular change if you don't say a yes. You'll never be ready. Trust me, it isn't going to work. It's going to be a planned thing. It's going to be in a box there, right? To be done, to be completed. And that is particular goal that's going to be in that box. So in order for you to achieve those things, right? In order for you to move on, right? To move on in that thing, you need to visit. You need to knock it and take it out and apply it. All right. So that is why I'm saying here, you will never be ready if you do not start it. So start it somewhere in whatever situation you could be thinking of moving into entrepreneurship. But how? I can't manage people. I can't manage customers' need. I can't be actually doing this because I'm not good. I'm not good in selling things. Just like me, I say yes. Okay, let's give an opportunity. Let's give a chance. See how I can do this. Right. So one of my role model that I used to bring in my career is this guy, Richard Branson. I'm sure you know. He's one of the founder of Virgin Alliance, right, and the Virgin Group in itself. What he shares is this: say yes, then work out. Right? Many of us, they will work out things and then they will achieve. That's the normal thing. But there's another way of achieving things that I want to share with you through this quote by Richard Branson: is to say yes. Take that 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 particular goal, own the goal, right? Own the goal and think about how to sustain it, because that will actually motivate you, that will drive you to maintain that particular goal to be alive in you. Okay, so trust me, guys, say yes, then work out how. Right? Trust it will basically work. I've tried many times, right? I tried many times doing this, right? Many of them doubt me, and many of them doubted me, say that, oh, Mark, this is not going to work. All right. But yet, after that mindset, the winning mindset, right? I already own this, man. I need to maintain this. I need to go on pushing it to achieve this and to maintain it, to sustain it, right? So you will eventually start to think. When you already own the particular thing, all right, you will eventually start to think about it, right? You will think about it. That will be a driving factor for you to achieve more goals and even to win things. Right? That's why it's not necessary you have to win a race to become a winner. You can also win in your own organization by following these three tips that I just shared with you, right? These three tips that will help you, right? Start with small, right? Remember the three things. Number one, start with small steps. The baby steps is very important. Secondly, always keep an heart for learning. Always keep a room for learning, because if you stop learning, you're not going anywhere. Right? You will be closed down. You have that closed mindset. You do not have the opportunity to open your mindset for more new things coming into yourself. That's second. Number three, start before you are ready. Right? Remember these three things. It will definitely change your life, of your perspective, your thinking in your organization. I'm sure every one of you, wherever you are attached with, inside TMB, Tenaga Nasional, or outside Tenaga Nasional, wherever you are hearing this this section, by applying these three pointers, I'm sure there will be a change for some. Because I believe this. Let me end the section with this quote. Okay, from Vince Lombardi, right? Vince Lombardi. He says that winning means you are willing to go longer, work harder, and give more than anyone else, right? Try to do this, right? Try to do this wherever you are. Right? Whatever things that you are embarking on, you are venturing into new things, right? Something that has been bothering you all this while, right? How to go about it? Okay? This code will help you. Okay, winning means you are willing to go longer, right? Work harder and give more than anyone else. Right? Remember the four people or the four situations that I give you to fill in my early presentation. Okay, if you want to be a part of them, if you want to win things in your organization, I think this will help you. It's not about carrying the trophy or that medal at the end of the day. It's always to go longer, to work harder and give more than the rest, right? Just go on doing one step more than from the rest. Because in an organization, what I've learned, right, in that four organization, what I've learned is that particular individual that always give more than expected. This is the tips. This is what I learned from the other four companies that I worked with. The most promising player or the most promising staff in that particular company is where the staff that always give 1%, 10%, 20%, 30% more than the others. That particular individual will be recognized, right? Of course, the recognition will come in a shorter period of time or longer period of time, but that person, that individual will be a winning player in that organization. So with that, I will end my presentation or my sharing section. Let's move on. Jason, if you are ready, let's move on to the question and answer section.
Okay. Thank you, Mark, for the great sharing just now. So, waiting the question coming from the delegates. So, I have one question to ask. How to apply coaching in our workplace?
Okay. Okay. How do I coaching in your workplace? That's a good question. All right. I used to receive these questions a lot lately. How do we apply coaching? So remember, coaching is about individual helping each another, right? Helping each another to unlock their potential, right? So remember, this is the ideal, or this is the exact definition of what is coaching is all about. When it comes to coaching, it's about an individual, which is the coach himself, unlock the other potential that the other individual has, right? So that is why I truly believe, as a coach myself, I truly believe each and all of you, there's about 43 participants here, right? I believe that every one of you have a value in yourself. It's just that you do not realize it. It's just that you do not test that value by showing it out. You just keep it. And that is why a coach will help you to unlock those potential. Because that moment when you unlock your real value or your potential, you will be doing amazing things. You will be doing things that how winners will used to do. Okay. Yeah, that's short and simple for you, Jason. Thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you so much. So we have one question from Mr. Shafirul Rizal. Okay, how do we know where or what is the line between make believe and falsehood?
All right. Okay, I can read that question. How do we know where and what is the line between make believe and falsehood? All right. Okay, this is nice. So I don't know what is your intention asking this question, but I went through this, right? Make you believe and falsehood, right? Actually, if you ask me, is the experience by itself. Shafarul, every one of us have a different experience, a different journey. Right? So whether to know whether it's a make believe or a false hope, it's actually going through that experience. Right? I do believe on our inner institutions, right? The inner thing that we always say, the gut feelings. I always say to you, along the journey, something will knock your head and say, "Hey, you know what, this thing is not going to work for you. Right? That is your gut feeling. And you try to challenge that, because you want to know whether this is a false hope or is it a real one, right? So for me, it always goes back to the feelings. I do tests on that, and I do think if I feel a little bit uncomfortable with the person, with the particular individual, I will tend to slowly back off, right? But that doesn't mean I'm actually losing the trust to them, but also trying to say that it's not going to work out for myself. But if to answer you is the experience by itself, Sapro. So every one of us have to experience it because that those experience will help us to make step. All right. If you want to go into the next venture, contohnya lah, I give you an example. Investing. All right. Lately, people are investing a lot, whether it's property or stock market or whatever this thing can, right? So, but people have that 50-50 situation. Whether should I invest or should I keep the money? Should I invest in this property right now? Because we, as you are aware, we just left pandemic, right? The property prices are super cheap at the moment. So if you have 500K in your hand, you will have this doubt whether you want to put that trust in that particular property, gain it later, or else you keep it. So there goes the seller lah. They will come to you, Safarul. They will convince you, right? Buy now, buy now, buy now. Put your money here, and you will get back 50%, even 100% of return. They will give you that kind of thing. But deep down in yourself, in all the experience that you went through, I'm sure you have went through a lot of things in previous experience. You will have that gut feeling will tell you, should I go or should I not? Okay. But if you feel that, yes, let's move on, what I will advise you, advice, I'm not so good to advise you, but what I recommend you as a pro is to do the learning part, the tips number two. Okay, remember the tips number two. Try to get more learning on the situation too. Whatever you're going through, I'm not sure what you're going through, Safaru, but in whatever you're going through, get knowledge. Ask people, right? If you need to ask people, get a lot of information before you make a decision, right? So whether that is going to make you to believe or whether it's just a false hope, I think tips number two will help you out, which is get more information, get more learning, because if you learn more about the situation, you will have more confidence in moving forward, right? So I really hope I did answer that questions to you. Any question? Any more questions?
Okay, we have another question by Mr. Hafiz. How to put winning mentality in our team?
Office, right? Okay, I'm reading the question. I can see the chat box now. How to put winning mentality in our team? Wow, that's good. It is my struggle also. I have my team back down as well. But lately, especially coming to the end of the year, we have a lot of challenges, a lot of expectation that's coming in. You know, we need to increase our profit. We need to make our team to work on things. So, but end of the day, it's coming back to this question Hafiz just shared with us: how to put winning mentality in your team. Of course, the three things, Hafiz, that I just shared with you, will help you a little bit. Winning is not about overnight thing. Okay, if you plan today, tomorrow it doesn't mean that you're going to win the race. All right, winning is a gradual process. It's a process where it takes times, right? It will take time. First of most, is you need to understand this thing. First, if you're reading yours, is to not to fear to lose. Okay, okay, not to fear to lose. And when you bring in team, right? This is going a step ahead. This individual, yes, it's about confidence, creating confidence. But for a team, is when you are recognizing them. Okay, many of them, many of us will say, you know, you need to build the trust. Fish, you need to build the trust in your team. Yes, true enough, trust is very important. But actually, in my point of view, my perspective is you need to recognize each and all of your player in your team. You recognize them. You recognize them. You encourage them. You give them positive note. All right. Even though they make a blunder in your team, even though they make a mistake in your team, you need to recognize them. You need to pull on their shoulder, right? This guy, okay, go on doing it. Right, ladies, don't do that. Okay, Hafiz. You give them an arm, right? For them to lean on. You say that it's okay. You gave it a try, but you can do it better the next one. So when a leader, when a leader, I believe that you have a team, Hafiz. When you as a leader, you recognize such potential in your team, that those potential become the winning thing. This potential in your team will help you to win things. That is why, for me, if you ask me, you recognize them, you encourage them, you motivate them, even though they give you a blunder, a mistake. You know, they put you in hot soup in a situation that, but yet don't do it constantly now. Please, okay, don't go on all day long encouraging them. But because what I trust, every one of us needs a tap on our shoulder, right? A tap on our shoulder, that's saying that, hey, well done, right? I was working with this BAT, British American Tobacco, just to share the experience in that company. They have this mentality of encouraging each and every one of us, you know. Whatever you do, you know, whatever it's just could be a short 5 minutes presentation or a small thing, all right? They will just shout out congratulations, you know. Okay, well done, Mark. Right? I baru masuk, you know, I just come into the room, into my cubicle, and people will be clapping. Have you gone through that situation? Please, I'm not sure about that, whether you have gone through such situation. But think of a situation where you just did a presentation or a successful event, and when you come into your office, right, and everyone will be clapping for you, right? You feel like, wow, you're winning the Ballon d'Or, right? So I think that is what you have to instill in your team. If you want your team to be having winning mindset, you start to clap for them, right? You even is 1%, 2%, start to clap for them. Make it a loud clap. Let everyone in the room hear that you are recognizing that particular individual, because that will actually help them to give them the best out of it. So try Hafiz, but I've tried that. It always works for me. I hope it will work for you as well, Hafiz. Thank you for this. This was a good question, Hafiz. Thank you. Is there any
Okay, we have a question from Sakiro again. Is there a technical test in coaching or psychological method to verify the question that we asked earlier, apart from gut feel?
All right. Okay. Wow. Okay. This is this is what we do. Shafrul, thank you for sharing that question. Right. This is what we do in Ilsons as well. We have our coaching sections as well. What we do, if you, I don't go a lot of into the technical aspect lah, but before before we understand the particular individual, what we do is this called thing personality test. You can actually Google if you right. There's a lot of tests when it comes to personality tests. Right. This is where we will understand the individual a little bit better because you are meeting this guy for the first time. Okay, I never meet you, Safarul, but if I want to understand about yourself, we'll sit down with you for a personality test. A test where I will understand you psychologically. What type of person are you? Because understanding you as an individual will help me, right? Will help me to understand better before I come up with a solution now. Because you come in as a coach, you will come into a situation, a challenge that you're going through, right? I can't just throw in the solution just like I did in the previous group, but I need to understand, I need to customize it for you. And just to share, there's a lot of technical tests, but for today's section, what I can share with you and what you can go through over the internet is this called personality test. There's a lot of links that you just type in Google that personality test, and you can do it right now. They just ask you a few questions that will help you to understand that particular individual. Why I'm actually proposing this particular test is because this is the first step to know about oneself. Because you need to know them, right? You need to know them before you give them a solution, before you bagi dia ubat. Sama macam same like a doctor, all right? First, when you say I have flu, he doesn't straight away give the flu medicine to you, all right? He will ask you a few questions. How long have you been having this flu, right? How you got it? Did you visited any place, right? Was it because of rain or was it because from another individual? So you see, this is what the doctor and the patient is trying to develop, right? So to understand the real situation for the particular individual. And that's where after hearing that, after 5-10 minutes, that's where the doctor will be able to give a particular medicine to the individual, right? So because not all flu medicine works for, I think there's different kind of flu medicine in the pharmaceutical. So a doctor knows it very well. So is there a technical test in coaching, physiological, psychological method to verify this part of the gut feeling? Yeah, if you feel that that individual too is not giving you any kind of value, right? You can do quickly personality test, right? You call them, right? You call them and you see whether it works or not. I went through, just to share with you, during my Slumberger, right, my interview with Slumberger, there was one test that they did, right, part of the psychological test, and whether I fit into Slumberger was this personality test. Tapi that test was like so many questions, Shafrul, there's so many questions that they asked me to answer, but the day they just want to know whether I will be the suitable candidate for Slumberger or not. Right? So they throw in this kind of test just to understand whether your value will suit into the company's value as well. So they do that kind of interview. All right. I really appreciate that kind of interview in any organization. Go okay, not only like 1 hour you chit chat and then you quickly pick the particular person. All right. So have this kind of test and it will help you. And also, Safro, I'm not sure what are the situation that you're going through. You can chit chat later, but if you're having that to overcome the gut feeling, you can do that test to know whether it's reliable or not. Okay, good. Thank you. Any yeah, you can drop in. Jason just shared my email there. You can drop in your further questions part of what Safro and Hafiz has shared with you. All right. Jason, is there any question?
Okay. Thank you so much for the sharing just now. Okay, for the delegates, if you have any query, please send it to mark.jonathan@tnb.com.my. Okay, please remember the 3 tips given earlier. Take small step on a consistent basis. It's a lifelong learning and create a ritual out of learning. And the third one, start before you are ready for the challenges coming your way. All right, for the delegates, thank you for being with us in this mini classes. See you all tomorrow for the final day. With that, thank you and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All the best. Take care.
What's this time? Let masuk kat mulut time.